strange-looking device to an energy-hungry public.
That you see, like this one, that would originally...
Light is the ability for us to heal.
Ancient India rewrites history.
Person was suffering with these symptoms of headache and nasal congestion for 2 years, and no doctor was able to give her an answer. And then eventually she was able to find this, and that was actually pretty shocking. What she found was actually black mold, as well as other areas in her house. So it's important to understand that indoor mold is actually common nowadays. It's important to recognize these signs. You should make sure that if you have any of these features, any of the symptoms such as runny nose, nasal congestion, wheezing, shortness of breath, cough, talk to your primary care doctor. But also it's important to do an allergy testing because you could be positive for mold. But also survey your house to make sure you don't have any of the signs that I showed you, because if you have any of those signs, that could be concerning for indoor mold. But oftentimes if you're not immunocompromised, if you don't have a weak immune system, you're just going to have an allergic reaction, but that's going to lead to very chronic issues such as shortness of breath, wheezing, cough, runny nose, that most doctors probably won't know what the problem is. So it's important that you survey your house to make sure you're not missing any mold.
Yo, I've seen this time and time again where doctors are like, yeah, it was mold. We thought it was all these other things, but it was just mold. Oh boy, you're basically at like that store and they're like, it was just mold. Could you imagine? It was that simple fix. Welcome back, goons. You're watching Explore the Weird. How you liking this? How you liking this? New style, new content type. All right, we're going to keep it going.
Mouth should never be used for breathing. It's all about breathing in and out through the nose. Now, there are times that you will have your mouth open, say, for example, during really high-intensity physical exercise. But even during low to moderate exercise, the mouth should be closed. The mouth should be closed during sleep. One should be waking up with a moist mouth in the morning. The nose has a minimum of 30 functions. Increased blood flow and oxygen delivery to the brain, reduced snoring, reduced sleep apnea, reduced asthma and hay fever. The thing about the human nose is that the more you use it, the better it works. Yeah. And if your nose is stuffy, your ability to concentrate, plan, make decisions is also impacted. For Mary, she has a stuffy nose. What I would say to Mary is, once she's not pregnant, or if she doesn't have anxiety, and we can go very gentle with this exercise. Take a normal breath in through the nose.
Okay, I'm going to do this now.
Silent breath in through your nose, and a silent breath out through your nose. Hold your nose, and just gently nod your head up and down. We'll do 5 head nods.
Is that 5?
And then let go and breathe in through your nose. And for Mary to practice that, and then build it up to 7, build it up to 10, build it up to 15, to find where she's at. If you hold your breath after an exhalation, and you gently nod your head, you will open up your nose.
Did you guys try this? Did this work for you? I don't feel any different, but hey, I've heard Dr. Sebi say mucus is everything, so it's the only disease. But all right, we're going to keep it going.
My life was ruined the day I found out you're not actually supposed to pee clear.
Yes, that's actually true. Having clear urine is actually not a good indicator of health. That actually could mean that you're drinking way too much water. You're probably drinking more than 3 liters a day. And what that means is that potentially over time, you could be putting yourself at risk for something called water intoxication. What happens is that normally kidney are able to filter approximately 0.8 to 1 liter of water per hour. But for those who are drinking way too much water, for instance, they're drinking more than 1 liter per hour, that could cause them to have something called water intoxication. What that means is that the sodium in your blood is actually dangerously low, and that could lead to brain swelling. And what could happen over time is patients could have seizures, they could be put in a coma, and they could have unreversible neurological loss. Basically, your brain is getting injured, and over time it could lead to death of the brain. What I recommend is to make sure that you avoid drinking more than 1 liter per hour, making sure you're always watching how much water you're taking in, and also looking at your color of the urine. If it's yellow to amber, that is the appropriate color that you want it to be. If it's clear, that means you got to slow down the water intake.
Bro, blue or green urine? Oh my god, there's all the colors. All the colors of the rainbow can be found in the urine. Figure out which one you are.
Alright, so it's been like 3 months, and that copper is keeping this water clear with no algae. If I wouldn't have had this copper in there, this would be nasty. And I would have to clean it like every week just to have a nice clean water. So, copper is your friend.
Wait, what the hell? How is this possible? I've had copper or water in copper and, dust gets into it, bugs get, all these things happen. Like, you're in a farm. How did you prevent anything from this? I don't know. I don't know how this is done. By the way, are you a goon? Did you interact with the video before the video even started? What, I have to tell you, otherwise you don't do it? Come on now. Come on now. We need the interaction. We're trying to grow.
The controversy began as soon as Joseph Newman introduced this strange-looking device to an energy-hungry public. He claimed that this electromagnetic machine operates without the use of any conventional fuels. He claimed the machine produces more energy out than is externally put in. Now, pick an expert in the field and they'll tell you that's impossible. But Mr. Newman claims he is achieving this by an internal conversion of matter into energy. And now 31 people with scientific backgrounds have signed legal documents swearing to the machine's validity. But the most important endorsement came this week from a most unlikely source. Mr. Newman has been fighting for a patent for years. Many, therefore, considered it ironic when a federal judge appointed the former head of the patent office, William Schuyler, to decide if Newman's device did or did not work. Mr. Schuyler, who is also considered to be an expert on electrical engineering, didn't take long to make his decision. In a report of the special master, Mr. Schuyler states, evidence before the court is overwhelming that Newman has built and tested a prototype of his invention in which the output energy exceeds the external input energy. Therefore, there is no contradictory factual evidence. For the layman, that means the machine works. The expert then goes on to say, the Patent Office finding that such a machine is impossible is clearly erroneous. Mr. Schuyler also found that the Patent Office...
Bro, 0-point energy is just the ether. So this guy found a way to harness the ether? And it has magnets are involved? I don't know. This is crazy. This is crazy.
We are activating in highly charged cosmic energy right now as the sun has just exploded in an X-class solar flare. We've been feeling the buildup. We're taking energy in through our crown, which is why a lot of us are feeling the head pressure and headaches and things like this. And many people are feeling pain in the body. What is happening is at the end of July, around the 26th or 27th, we have the opening of the Lion's Gate, right? And this is peaking on the 888. And this energy is coming in to assist our ascension and raise our consciousness. So there's a lot that's coming up in the pain body, in the physical body, and also in the emotional, mental body that is coming up to be shown to us. And that's also happening in the collective. So it's really important to focus on the growth and the expansion and not pay attention to the distractions that might come up in the collective, because it has to purge, it has to come to the surface. Just like things that we're experiencing now. We've been put through tests and initiations and challenges like never before in the last month or so, because this is part of the transformation. We're activating our DNA. We're coming in through this Lion's Gate portal, and it's activating us into our mission and our purpose on the planet. And it's also activating our highest timeline, where we're going to create a new world. And this is all part of why we came here, and it's activating within us now. So everything else that's not in alignment with that has to go, has to be shown. The truth is coming up, and it's important to stay in your heart. All right, invite your higher presence, your quantum presence, your eternal, ethereal, divine presence into your heart to stay connected to what you're being guided into right now. Stay focused on the highest timeline.
Yo, I mean, this lady's definitely feeling the energies. Are you feeling the energy? We have a Shivalingam. You should be feeling the energy. Interesting. Yeah, do whatever feels right. Do whatever feels right.
For worms, keep the colon clean. You might need to do some colon cleansing, because we'll only live in a colon that's not working well. I almost said dirty colon, and you might say, Barbara, all colons are dirty. That's right. The waste is coming out. But when a person is eating a lot of sugar, a lot of wheat, a lot of refined foods and meat, this encourages the growth of worms. But on a vegetarian diet, when the person is eating a plant-based diet and they're evacuating 2 times a day if they're eating 2 meals, 3 times a day if they're eating 3 meals, can you see there isn't really ground for the worms to live? Now, worms hate garlic. So, and you know what also worms hate? Is pumpkin seeds. So for worms, eat pumpkin seeds as the first thing that goes into your mouth at breakfast. There's something in the pumpkin seeds that the worms hate.
That's crazy. If you have parasites, figure it out. Figure it out. I don't know what the check is, but hey, if it's just eating garlic and pumpkin seeds, that don't sound too bad. That don't sound too bad.
Okay, this is the craziest thing. I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. And I lived in Florida my entire life. Those are all bugs. I thought the restaurant was smoking. Those are all bugs. You can even see them flying, like, dude, you can't even tell on the video how many there are. There are millions and billions and trillions of bugs here right now. All of those lines, bugs. Oh my gosh. They're getting closer to me so you can start seeing them more. Oh, I cannot believe this. I've literally never seen anything like this in my entire life. How is this Ohio? It looks like it's pouring rain. It's literally not even raining. These are bugs. I cannot even fathom how many bugs are here. This is absolutely absurd. Absurd. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that is crazy. Once you start going outside, you start realizing there's other species out there, not just humans. Interesting. Interesting. That's a lot of bugs. I've seen different depictions of the same scenario, so it does, I guess. Oh well, what are you gonna do? They have a short life cycle. Thank you for pointing it out, and hopefully nothing strange is going on. Hopefully nothing strange is going on.
Well, it's official. YouTube has just now banned anything related to health that doesn't align with the general medical consensus. So if any information related to health doesn't agree with the World Health Organization, they won't necessarily always take down the video, but they're going to change the algorithms. So they're going to replace those videos that were popular, that had lots of likes and lots of engagement, with medical information. This new partnership with YouTube is supposed to protect you against misinformation and promote high quality health information. And their definition of misinformation is anything that opposes their viewpoint. I mean, if you go to drberg.com, you will see that I have 7,607 success stories. I'm helping people. I'm giving people lots of non-toxic solutions. And if you just read the comments, you'll see that a lot of people are being helped. So my information is not dangerous. It's not misinformation. It's actually quite helpful. And this new change is going to hurt a lot of people because they're not going to be able to find alternative viewpoints, alternative opinions. Sometimes medicine doesn't work, and they're looking for inexpensive natural remedies to handle certain body issues. But guess what? Now they're going to have a very difficult time.
Yeah, this is horrible that YouTube is doing this. They suppress everything. They dictate, hey, what gets suppressed and what doesn't. I'm suppressed all the time. I'm suppressed all the time. I said suppressed. Suppressed. Oh, Teddy, you're depressed? No, you stop it.
How come no one is talking about how insane it is that from a very young age, we are all conditioned to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, for 40 to 50 years and trade all of that for 10 to 20 years of freedom when you're too old and fucking decrepit to enjoy it? Like, how does that make sense? Like, you look around every day during your commute to work and you see every single other person doing the exact same thing and you say to yourself, yep, this is normal, this is how it should be. How come no one questions that trade-off? 40 to 50 years of sacrifice all gone just so you can get 10 to 20 years of elderly freedom and retirement. Most people don't even attempt to live a different life or even question it. Everyone just conforms and accepts this as their reality, and it fucking blows my mind. How are you not looking at the fact that you have to literally ask permission from another human being to go on vacation? You have no control over how much money you make. You just have to hope that your boss gives you a pay rise. Like, how are you not freaking out about this and getting extremely fucking pissed off? When are you going to wake up and see how much this does not make fucking sense?
The goons are awake. The goons are awake. The systems around us are made to make us inferior. We are not inferior. We're superior. Good work. Good work.
Cancer loves three things. It loves mucus, it loves yeast, and it loves acid. And caffeine is one of the most acidic things on the planet to your body. And they've got 40,000 Starbucks out there. So you wonder why it's 1 in 2 people with cancer? You're drinking yourselves this coffee all day because you're tired. You're tired, so you need a brown liquid to wake you up. Why are you tired? You weren't born tired. You know, we are connected to the circadian rhythms of the universe. So when the sun comes up, our bodies are supposed to get up. And as the sun comes down, we're supposed to gradually lose our energy so that then we rest and regenerate for the next day. So if you're tired at 10 in the morning when you wake up, what's that telling me? It's telling me that your cells didn't get any food to wake you up. Your cells didn't get any fuel or nutrients to get you up. So you need a drug to make you get going for the day. If you need your caffeine every day, your body's just saying, I don't have enough nutrients to perform. People are doing all these weird things, but nobody thinks it's weird because everybody's doing it. We're not thinking any longer. We've crowded ourselves up with so much toxicity that we don't think for ourselves anymore. So every little thing you do, no matter how small or large, you're participating in your life or your death. It's that simple. And you get to make the choice.
So taking care of you is your responsibility. I read those books and started practicing, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. And that's when I began to...
Yeah, one video tells you coffee is good, another video tells you coffee is bad. You manifest your own well-being, you manifest your own timeline. We're going to keep it going.
So I keep getting the question, Sasha, why is there sock on your bat? Is it to clean up the blood? And the answer is no. So if you're, hitting someone with the bat, they're going to try to grab at the bat, and then they're going to try to pull it away from you, right? So you put a sock on the bat, so when they grab onto it, you can just yank the bat away, and then they're left with the sock and you still have the bat. So it gives you a second chance to, continue doing what you have to do so they don't use the bat against you. That's why you put a sock on your bat.
Oh, interesting. Good to know. What if they show up with the pew-pew? Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
That you see, like this one that would originally have been a starter home about a decade or so ago are now for lease. Signs in front yards showing not a home for sale, but for rent.
Atlanta has more of these types of properties than the next couple of metro areas combined.
These properties are single-family homes owned by corporations, not people. And Atlanta is the #1 location for these houses in the entire country, according to GSU professor Taylor Shelton.
Just a decade or so ago, none of these companies even existed.
But a recent study found that just 3 companies, known to customers as Progress Residential, Invitation Homes, and Main Street Renewal, own more than 19,000 homes in the metro area.
The homes that most of these companies are buying are exactly the kind of starter homes that 15, 20, 30 years ago would have been first-time home buyers.
And in certain areas, these corporations can own most of the homes in a neighborhood. Take this street where...
Dude, that's crazy. It's literally happening before our eyes. The corporations are owning the homes, and soon we won't even be able to get our homes. It's going to get wild. It's going to get wild. Okay, what is this? Like Westworld or something? I don't know what I just witnessed. Westworld's TV series.
Ancient India rewrites history yet again. 1,000-year-old caves have just been inspected by stonemasons and engineers, and what they found is going to freak you out. These are the Barabar caves. There's 5 of them. Carved into solid granite, the polish is so smooth, it's smoother than machine-polished marble, and slightly less than industrial glass, and 20 times smoother than industrial granite. Professional stonemasons were interviewed about recreating this project and how difficult it would be out of 10, and those are their answers. Most said it was impossible. A company called AGP, started by a former stonemason, scanned him with one of these. It's a spinning laser that creates millions of data points that can reconstruct the caves from the inside out with no distortion. Here are the results. The caves have perfect symmetry in the floor, ceiling, and walls. The walls are angled by just a few degrees. Why? Polishing with the aid of gravity is more than doable. That's what we do. Polishing a vertical wall and a curved ceiling, on the other hand, is... The walls have a perfect angle within 0.1 degrees. You can't even tell with your eyes. Why was this necessary? The acoustics of these caves are also ridiculous. Granite barely absorbs acoustic waves, and the dome at Sudama resonates at 74.9 Hz. This renders speech unintelligible in the chamber. Reverb is the time it takes a sound to decay into nothing. 60 seconds is the max my production software will go. Inside Notre Dame, it'll reverb for about 10 seconds. Sudama is 62, Vapika is 70. When they were studying the acoustics, they discovered that the angled walls reduce the floating echo. The caves were rediscovered in 1785 by the colonizer dudes. No function of the caves has ever been discovered. The historical foundation is based on this crude hack job into the perfect walls. It says the absolutely perfect caves were used as a rain shelter. We can all agree that there was a lot of highly trained craftsmen that were needed to complete this. Yet we see nothing this precise anywhere else in India. How were they trained? How did they carve it with no electricity? Torches would suffocate workers if they didn't get silicosis. That's an incurable disease from inhaling rocks. Didn't seem like a concern. The only things we can compare it to are Nakshi Rostam, the Lycian rock tombs, Petra, and maybe a couple other sites like Kailasa. Kailasa was carved out of a single rock in traditional Indian style, decorated head to toe. This has no decoration and emphasizes the precision. The Rig Veda puts a heavy emphasis on sound. So what were they used for? The clues are in geometry. If you want more clues, check out the documentary this whole video is based on. It's on YouTube and narrated by the lovely Johanna James.
I feel like it was used to like hide treasure or something. Something ain't adding up. Is this like ancient Egyptian tech that was also used in India? I'm not sure. Oh boy.
All like to talk on Bill Gates. Why is he buying up all the farmland in the United States? He was about 242,000 acres of farmland in the United States. And that's a lot of farmland. During COVID, China bought up about the same amount of farmland in the United States. It's to control the food supply. If you're buying up the best farmland in the world in the middle of America and some of the best soil in America, what are the intentions? Now, Bill Gates is also one of the biggest investors in fake meat products that are coming to the storefronts. You have all the fake meat commodities that are being introduced into the supermarkets. I believe that's a distraction. Well, let's look at fake protein and how they're inserting it in most of our products as well. They're trying to take animal protein out of our consumption model, turn it into something that's grown and produced in the labs.
Yeah, there is things happening. New systems are going to emerge. We may not be able to get livestock like we used to. This
is simultaneously the creepiest and the funniest site I found on the dark web. So the site is called Get Gnomed, and they claim to be the best gnoming service on the dark web. Apparently they have competitors, but... So I did not know what gnoming was before today, but apparently it's when you cover someone's house with garden gnomes, and they offer something called like curse gnomes, which are filled with animal waste in order to attract lots of pests. What's really creepy is they will do the inside of people's house as well. Regardless, they say, of like security measures. Also, they offer something called like gnome haunting, which is apparently when the people remove a gnome, it will then be replaced with like 2 gnomes. Personally,
Yo, this has to be a joke. There's no way someone on the dark web is going around doing this to people, right? Right?
Happens when you sit in front of a candle and meditate. Well, what happens is all fires burn at 10 hertz frequency. So when you're looking at that, you're actually syncing your brain to alpha. Did you ever wonder why the gurus go into the Himalayas? The Himalayas actually vibrate at 7.8 hertz frequency. You're actually triggering theta. What that does is it instructs your nervous system to produce GABA. And GABA is a precursor to DMT. So if you want to have your own DMT experience, that's one of the ways you activate it. And that's why people that meditate, if they get into the deeper states, they can have these spiritual experiences because we're chemically coded for that. We just need to trigger it.
Okay, interesting. I did not know. Is anyone else aware of this? Interesting.
Light is the ability for us to heal. And it's interesting because when you go back into the 1820s and 1850s, they actually used to use stained glass windows to heal people. If we have the wrong lights in our house, we impact every cellular function in the body 24/7, 365, because every time you turn on those lights, they're impacting every cell. So we want to stick to things like incandescents and halogens. Those are the most important lights to bring into the home. Now, I know because of the ban, it is challenging to find incandescents and halogens, but you can look online for incandescents and halogens. You want to avoid anything that's LED or fluorescent. The fluorescent spectrum of light actually emits X-rays the entire time. That's why they actually used to put lead in front of fluorescent bulbs to block the X-rays. Now the problem with the LEDs, they have a light emitting diode. So if you guys can see that, I'll kind of put that like that. This is the same light emitting diode as the light bulbs on the street. And the problem with this is the flicker rate is about like 4 billion. It's something absolutely crazy. And it's linked to a lot of seizures. A lot of people have seizures because of the LED bulbs. Now, the other problem with the LED bulbs is they emit radio frequencies. And those radio frequencies can mess with our mind, mess with our heart, and also mess with our eyes. LEDs are linked to cataracts, according to the AMA. This is all stuff that can be found online if you look it up. So if you bring these bulbs into your home and you place them throughout your house, you will have a bunch of radio frequency light bulbs pinging the entire time. This also starts to connect you into Li-Fi, not Wi-Fi, Li-Fi. That's the Internet of Things connected through lights, where lights will communicate amongst each other and connect into appliances such as your fridge, such as your stove, such as everything else that's in your house, all connected with your lights. It starts to get really weird because that's a tracking system with light bulbs.
Man, there's a lot of fear mongering happening here, but like, who in their right mind is going to go back to the old tech that you have to pay more for and that's not going to last as long, that you have to constantly change? It's just not financially stable, and people have been using ultraviolet tech, red light therapies with LEDs, and they are saying, hey, we are noticing a difference. So it's hard to just right away LEDs for me. I'm tech savvy. I like to keep the tech keep going. I'm okay being a cyborg Teddy, but regardless, interesting. A lot of interesting takes here. I'm interested to know more about like the epilepsy that people are having, because I am not seeing that. Epilepsy is changing of lights that usually causes a seizure, but I don't see how LEDs do that unless there's changes in the lights. But he's saying 4 million times. It's very rare. I feel you'll find individuals that are suffering like that. Oh no, I'm reacting too long. We only have one more. Let's do it. Wow. Has this guy been talking to Cool Dude? Yeah, about the oscillator technology, the cold power. Wow. I'm assuming they're getting some healing, some recirculation issues, and like literally they're healing their bodies wherever they're sitting. I'm assuming that's what these devices are used for. I see oscillation, transform nuestras. What's nuestras? I don't know. Yeah, interesting. This is definitely some form of natural healing, I feel. All right, guys, you made it to the end. How'd you do? A lot of interesting videos on this one. A lot of health-related videos. I just want you guys to be healthy. Make your own decisions. Do the right thing. All right, there should be videos on the screen now. Choose either one of them. Get your goon fix in. The one in the middle, you can subscribe. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe, stay strong. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Wake up.